Uh, Welcome to my first first lecture about UI and UX design. So, the purpose of this video is to cover the basic concept about UI UX design, the process to create it in a really short, quick video, like barely couple of minutes video. So let's compare or let's see what it is about the UI and UX, like what it is. So UI is user interface, which covers all the buttons you see in the app or website or anything where a user can click, and basically, yeah, anything a user can touch. And on the other hand, UX, the X came from the X from the experience, user experience. It it is all about how a user feel, how much a user is satisfied, happy, and if the needs are fulfilled and everything. And based on the experience of anything a user can touch. So over here, UX is dependent on UI as well. So if a user wants to log in somewhere or sign up somewhere and a certain button is not there, then the whole experience will ruin. And if a user cannot read certain policies or anything, then it is also a bad experience. So I would say it's not UI versus UX. It's just like UI UX. Like it's both together. So basically, what is bad UI and what is bad UX? So bad UI is let's take a look at this. So it's just a elevator. It's not definitely a login page or something, but any bad design can be treated as bad UI design. So you can see there are two what do you call it? Two buttons are missing for 48 and 49, and they are like bad design maybe because a lot of stickers are missing, and if I want to go to floor 49, then I have to like figure out like the sequence how it's going, like where 49 but it should be. So it takes a lot of time. It's like I have to click on a lot of buttons maybe or something. Like it ruins the experience of a person. And I have another example over here. It's right next to each other. So it's a website, SFS Folio. I built it with my team, and basically on the left hand side there is no forget password button. So if a user forgot the password, then he cannot do anything. So that is basically a bad UI design. So if you want to be specific what is specifically bad UI design, that's what it is. And on the right side, you can see a button, red, hyperlinked. You can easily see it if you, just in case if you forget the password. And it's also biggest main thing. A lot of login pages doesn't have this forget password like prominent, and people can get lost if it's like hidden, or if a person have to go somewhere. Anyways, so I want to dig deeper, a little bit more deeper. That's just like the purpose of this video is like really short, quick tutorial. Just to give you an overview. So a little bit more on good UI design. So the forms should be clear. The whole what do you say? The layout should be clear. Everything should be easy to read, easy to write. A user should know what to write, where what to write, and if just like here, there should be a if I want you to enter a SFSU email or password, then it should say, somewhere, so that a user knows what to do. And it's also easy to read and easy to understand. Design was made with focus group meetings, like there were meetings, there were discussions, and low fidelity and high fidelity mockups. So it's a big thing. I will explain it in detail later on, what is mockup and its storyboards and how it is made basically. I will explain it pretty soon. So first, let's go over what is good UX design. User knows where to go. User knows what to do, how to get things done. So basically, if you give a your cell phone or app or website to your grandma or grandpa or any old person or person who's bad using technology, that person can get a thing done. So if you give a like a laptop with a website on to your grandmother, she should know how to sign up, then what is the next step. And you can make it possible by making everything bold, clear, not too much colors, not too many fancy stuff, like keep it simple, keep it low key. And yeah, you can read everything clearly, and get everything done as soon as possible. So when it says as soon as possible, so in the to create a good UX design, UX designers also do a research or like a reviews. They ask people like how many buttons did you click? How many times did you tap on the screen? Or how long it took you? How many minutes? And the good UX designer will always try to minimize the time frame, so that a person or an old person or a grandma always think about an old person who doesn't know how to use a technology. Then you can make a really good UX design. That's what I do. And yeah, so you need to make sure that you are minimizing the time, the buttons, screens as well. Don't add too many screens where a user will get lost. It ruins the experience of a user. So before I jump on the uh, high fidelity and low fidelity mockup, uh, I will explain one more time. So I downloaded this image from this resource, is right under it. So yeah, UI is based on visual design. Anything which you can see, like the buttons and everything, like the colors. Graphic design, like the layout and everything. And UX design, the experience, the interaction, how a user is feeling after the interaction. Wireframes and prototypes. That's where the high fidelity and low fidelity mockups come. I will explain it right after this picture. And information architect, user research. User research, where you ask people how many time it took them, how much time it took them, how many clicks it took them to get certain job done. Scenarios, that's where you create your use cases and stuff. So for high fidelity and low fidelity mockup, pretty much basically you create persona, where you create a person, and you use cases, and then you use high fidelity and low fidelity mockups, like where wireframes and prototypes come. So this is persona. Like I created this lady, her character, Nadia. She went to blah blah blah. She was a student, math student of this university, and pretty much what she is, her background, just her quick introduction. And then I created this use case, where I said title, struggling with maths, actor, Nadia, description, what she wants to do and what she did at the website. So she was a SFSU student, and she was struggling with math, registered on the website. You can read it. I don't have to read it, on my own. And then you go to low fidelity mockup. This mockup was created with the help of Figma. I forgot to write it down there, but I will mention in the description too. Figma, yeah. And in low fidelity mockup, you don't use fancy colors. It's just like bunch of boxes and a what do you call it? Like a rough idea what's going on out there, right? And it's just like all gray, black and white, and this one index page is basically a low fidelity mockup, and the one story page is a low fidelity mockup. And you see this little arrow in the middle. This connection makes it the storyboard. If this arrow was not there, then it was not a storyboard. Okay, so storyboard is basically narration, like what is going on, like if you click on search button, where you're going to end up. So in high fidelity mockup, we used Figma, same website, same tool, but we used Bootstrap library. If you go to Bootstrap library, you will see a lot of fancy colored buttons, and not fancy, but fancy I meant like colored and decent buttons, which you can use and create this high fidelity mockup. High fidelity mockups are close to the reality, so that's where we took our mockups and the concept prototype wireframes to the close to the reality. And at the end, that's pretty much how we get the stuff done. Uh, uh, you know, do a lot of focus group meetings, get feedbacks, and everything. And pretty much that's how you make a good UI and UX design. Thank you very much.